Well, just moments ago, President Trump posting this on Truth Social. I am a big proponent of ICE wearing masks as they search for and are forced to deal with hardened criminals, many of whom were let into our country by sleepy Joe Biden and his wonderful border czar, Kamala. She never even went to the border. Through their absolutely insane open border policy, I would greatly appreciate, however, no masks when helping our country out of the Democrat-caused mess at the airports, etc. Thank you, President DJT, excuse me. Let's bring in Chad Wolf, former acting Homeland Security Secretary. I want to ask you about the ICE agents being in there. I'll show you, first of all, just a couple of responses that Bill Maloogian got when asking some of his contacts. They said, love it, genius, we serve at the behest, lots of illegals at the airports. I would actually love that. And then also somebody not thrilled about it. At least it was putting forward a solution, because the traveling public and the TSA agents, they're the ones bearing the brunt of all this.
Well, I think that's exactly right. And what you see here is, I think President Trump is frustrated, like millions of Americans, particularly those who travel, who's got two choices, which is the lines just continue to get longer as the Democrats continue to shut down DHS, or we find a solution and we look for other options here. And so having ICE or other elements of DHS surge into airports, it's really why the department was created, so that you could have a flexible workforce. And so as screeners continue to call out because they need to put food on the table, you surge in other assets there into those airports. And so you're likely going to see ICE do sort of crowd control, perhaps man exit lanes, do divestiture, the ticket document checker, sort of the first individual that you encounter there in the line. You're likely going to see ICE do a number of these things that free up TSA screeners to focus on those equipment checks, screening that baggage, and those procedures that you see once you get into that security lane.
So Hakeem Jeffries took it to a new level. He was on the air on Sunday on CNN. All right, listen to the words that he chose to use coming off of Minneapolis 2 months ago.
The last thing that the American people need are for untrained ICE agents to be deployed at airports all across the country, potentially to brutalize or in some instances kill them. We've already seen how ICE conducts itself. These are untrained individuals when it comes to doing the current job that they have for the most part, let alone deploying them in close exposure and highly sensitive situations at airports across the country.
So you heard it there. The reality is this: Democrats don't like ICE. No one likes to see people being shot and killed in Minneapolis. But Democrats don't have the votes. They lost that vote. Maybe they have the votes in November. Maybe they've got the votes 2.5 years from now, but they don't at the moment, sir.
Well, that's exactly right. And incoming Secretary Mullen has already indicated a number of things that he's willing to talk to them about regarding ICE operations, many of which they already want. But that doesn't appear to be good enough for them. They want it enshrined into law. And in the interim, they're holding the American people hostage, those that are traveling. And let me just say that when you get a 2 or 3 hour line in a place like Atlanta or any other major airport, that becomes a soft target in and of itself. Those baggage claims and a lot of the places where you see those lines are not secure areas of that airport, meaning anyone from the public can come into those areas. And so you're creating another security issue there when you have such long lines. And so again, ICE is being surged into there, making sure that those travelers are safe before they even get into that secure part of the airport.
And as we're talking, as you were talking, Chad, some ICE agents walked right there in front of our cameras. I think in the end, ICE, because of this, will end up with a higher approval rating from the public, and the Democrats will think, oh gosh, now what have we done again? Want to get you to this other story, because this is a tragedy that we want to make sure that we highlight. There's a Venezuelan illegal immigrant. He is going to be in court today. The charges are against Jose Medina. He is accused of murder in the first degree, attempted murder in the first degree, 3 counts of aggravated assault and aggravated unlawful possession of a weapon. He is accused of killing Sheridan Gorman. She was 18 years old. And this is what the family wrote. We are gravely disappointed by the policies and failures that allow this individual to remain in a position to commit this crime. When systems fail, whether through release decisions, lack of coordination, or unwillingness to act, the consequences are not abstract, they are real. And in our case, they are permanent. It's one of the best family statements I've ever seen, because they said this was not just simple misfortune. This could have been prevented, Chad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not abstract. Those consequences absolutely are real. And so what you have here is you have an individual that crossed the border in 2023, was released by the Biden administration, then a few months later shoplifted, I believe in Chicago, was released on bond, given a court date, never showed up to the court date, obviously, then a warrant out for his arrest, and then he commits this other crime. So completely preventable. If you would allow this individual or allow ICE to come and pick up this individual after he had shoplifted a number of things, should never have been released into the country. Look, it's unfortunately, Dana, this is a broken record. We see this time and time again, particularly in sanctuary cities, where they continue to release dangerous criminals back into their communities to reoffend instead of just calling ICE to come and pick this dangerous individual up and remove him from the country. Time and time again. So this is what Tom Homan, President Trump, and all Republicans pretty much in Congress are saying. We've got to put an end to these sanctuary cities.
And it's possible that Markwayne Mullin, the senator from Oklahoma, to be the new Homeland Secretary, could be confirmed even today. Thank you, Chad.
You had him twice.
Thank you.
Imagine how that makes the family feel. No good.
Yeah.
No.
Chad, thanks. 16 past the hour now.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.